What's up, all you fine people? Today is Friday, May 9th, and we are back with another weekly training here in the Facebook group, in the Power Path Facebook group. And I'm stoked that you guys are watching this because today we're going to go over something it's just a looming thing, and it's a constant thing about empty calendars everywhere. Okay, the more properties that come on board, the more the regulations starting to restrict, the more pricing problems we're having, the more market diving, the saturation, the less demand in certain areas, all of that. We're going to get to the core of how to overcome all of that kind of stuff, okay? Because if you aren't doing what we're talking about today, if you don't go through every listing you have about how to optimize what your listing should look like, how to attract certain guests, if you're not doing that and all you're doing is focusing on the pricing, you will never make any more money. Period. End of story. Okay. You're going to lose clients because you can't make any money. You're going to lose property because you can't make any money. You're going to have to sell property because you can't make any money. So we need to get confident in how these listings look, how the presentation looks. Okay. Now, if you're in a super saturated market and you don't have a stellar property, you don't have something that's sticking out, maybe it's time for a refresh. Okay. Because like if you look at Blue Ridge, for instance, we have thousands and thousands of these cabins that are they're just plain. They're just normal cabins. 4 or 5 years ago, they rented like crazy. Right after COVID, rented like crazy. But now we're back to that, a little bit above the 19 numbers. We're back down. So like we're back to normalization, and we have to remember that. The Airbnb population doubled or tripled after COVID. And so we have to get really clear on what we're offering. So if you just have like a standard 2-bedroom, 2-bath cabin, no view, no crazy amenities, nothing top, you're just going to rent like everybody else. If you even rent. We've got some that need a refresh, that we're going through a refresh because it's time, right? It did really, really well before, but there's nothing crazy about it. Okay. So, and the ones that are starting to tier up, we have to make sure they're optimized well so people can find them, okay? Because if nobody can find them, you can have the best product in the world. And if nobody can find you, then you can't sell it to anybody. Nobody's going to buy it, right? So today we're going to go through the optimization, the scripts. So my Airbnb Market Manager went through our properties this exact same way. So the script flows exactly how they go through it, okay? So like, I didn't just make this up. Right? This is proven on the inside of Airbnb. This is exactly what they did. They did this for all of our listings. And they said, you got it. You could tweak this, you could tweak this, but ultimately you figured it out. And that's why our company, Cherokee Rose Homes, has been in the top 10% of all management companies on using Airbnb and everything in Georgia. Okay. And that's not a lie. I swear. It's what she said. You guys are operating as a company, the top 10% of everybody in Georgia. We've got some homes that are in the top 5% of the nation. Okay. And I'm going to show you one of them. Right. So we're going to go through that listing, and I'm going to pull the script up, and we're going to go side by side all the way down. So if you're here to watch this, be sure that you're here to stay. Okay. Now, if you guys need anything whatsoever, if you're like, hey, I need to audit this listing, I need to audit this listing, like use this script, but you can also send it to me. We can jump on a call. Okay. So we have these properties, and I want to go through, and there's a little bit of a nuance with this one, something that we changed specifically for the owner, but nonetheless, this is how we're going to go. Okay. So if you guys need anything whatsoever, make sure you drop it in the comments, send me a DM. We're across the board, go live, and we are going to bring you this education every week, right? So if we see that everybody's just continually struggling with bookings all the time, then maybe we just start pounding this stuff out, right? Just around, trying to get full calendars. But we're going to go back to the basics of a lot of education, and we're just going to start pounding that out here in this free Facebook group. Okay. Now, I'm Kyle Fugit. We manage over 100 doors, including 3 boutique hotels. We have a lot of single family cabins that we manage, and we've been in the market, in the same market, heavy for the last 5 years. Okay. So when it comes to data and statistics and changes and market analytics, we've seen just about everything every year, something different. So understand, like, just because you look at the pricing or the data or something for one market once or twice, you have to stay in that market, because also we have owners that need to be educated. If something happens to the market and it stops renting, they're going to come back to you. And if you're managing property for other people, we need to be clear what the market looks like so they can understand. Regardless if they believe you or not, don't care, but you have to understand that, like, they need the education, okay? They need the information. And a lot of chamber of commerces in these tourist areas are doing a great job by producing this information, some of these self-managers, but like the actual data diving into, like, the chamber of commerces aren't doing that. They're just screenshotting some stuff. Hey, here's some high level stuff. Go make your decisions, okay? But we actually have a lot of connections inside of Airbnb, like our market manager, for instance, and they're the ones that are hooked up, like they're dedicated to certain people to say, hey, how do we get more people in the door? How do we get more bookings? Because if our bookings slow, Airbnb doesn't make any money, right? VRBO doesn't make any money, and ultimately we don't make any money. But Airbnb is very, very incentivized to set up market managers with bigger management companies to say, hey, whatever you got going on, I'm here to help you, okay? Because if we make more money, they make more money, especially through Airbnb, right? All right, so I'm going to dive in, right? That's exactly what you guys are here for. Again, got any questions, please let me know. I'm all around. We're traveling this weekend. We'll be back. So, and I want to go ahead and tell all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day for this weekend. I hope you have an incredible weekend. I hope that if you have, I just hope you have just full of love this weekend, okay? From the kids, from the spouse, even from your parents, the whole 9 yards, all right? So we dive here. So here's what we got, all right? So on the left side, we have the Airbnb script, which is the optimization script. I use it. You should use it too. Airbnb market managers use it, okay? So like this is how they need to go through it. On the right side, we have a listing called Blue Turtle Villa. Now, this is a very staple property, I believe, it's becoming a staple property in the entire country. It's definitely a staple property in the entire state of Georgia, okay? Now, this is top of the top. Now, this doesn't have a crazy view. It's not directly on the water, anything like that. So it's the floor plan, the design, the amenities. There's stuff here that is mind-blowing, okay? I've got, now if this thing had a crazy view, it'd be unstoppable. It would be insane. This place would probably do $30,000 or $40,000 a month. But it's not, right? It's doing, 15 to 20K a month, something like that, right? I think we got $20,000 on the books for next month. So this is an insane property, okay? So Blue Turtle Villa. Now, you look at this, and I guess I could pull up another listing that, I don't know, it's doing good, but there's no bookings because we're going through the refresh, or because it needs a refresh because it's just standard, or if I had another listing that's just dog crap, I guess I could pull that up too. Wouldn't want to call anybody out, but like I guess I could just find one, I don't know. So actually I probably could find one. I just have to remember the name. Somebody sent me one the other day. It was just crap. Potential owner, another company in our area. So all right, so when we look at this, we want to go top to bottom. Okay, it's very important that you go top to bottom through your listing. Don't jump around. You'll miss things. You won't think through things, like top to bottom, okay? So what is the first thing you need to look at? Your title. What does your title look like? Now, depending on your PMS, if you're going straight through Airbnb, whatever, I don't care. Side note, if you're only using Airbnb, you're missing out on half of your bookings, okay? VRBO, like, utilize VRBO. If you have a small cabin or small property, utilize booking.com. So, and make sure your fees are set up correctly, but like utilize the exposure. It's all about exposure. Everybody says, well, I want to do more direct bookings. Like, but you're not even doing it. Like, you don't have a website, which you can get through a PMS, hospitable or owner res. You get a PMS, get a direct booking site. Then you'll have to, push that. But like then ads come with that. SEO comes with that. So just utilize VRBO and Airbnb until we get some kind of foundation of you actually booking, okay? And you get return guests and those kind of things. So you run it a year without direct bookings and then come back and go with the direct booking side, right? So if you have one property that you own, that's what you're going to want to do. Don't focus on direct booking out the gate. Nobody cares. Okay. Get your foundation under you. So rule number one, look at your title. Now, is the name part of the brand, right? So every property you want to brand it. So it could be Blue Turtle Villa. She actually has several of these. She has two in the Keys, and she has this one here in Blue Ridge. Beautiful properties. Okay. We had Blue Fox Den, Red Fox Retreat, Evergreen Family Getaway. So you have this brand, okay, that you want to push, because when people come here, they want to align with something, right? It's not just a regular cabin in the woods. Those are the ones that stop booking. So we have something branded. Okay, you could have coasters, you could have rugs, you could have blankets, you could have pillows, you could have mugs, you could have all these things that could have, you know, big old signs, like big neon signs for $200 off Etsy. So you have all these things that you can get that will align with your brand. But if your title doesn't have your brand in it, I don't know what we're doing. Like, I'm just going to be honest. I have no idea what we're doing. Actually, I need to double check something. I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Make sure my right mic is hooked up. So should have checked that earlier, but I just making sure. So when we look at this, we say, okay, Blue Turtle Villa is in the name of the listing. Great. Now, what about your amenities, right? So what I've seen is some people will just have Blue Turtle Villa here, and that's it. Now, I'm not saying that's a showstopper, but come on, right? People are searching for things. And so we have different things in the amenities, in the listing. So in the listing title. So Lake Blue Ridge, it is not on the lake where you walk out to the lake or you that. It is, there's a little park in between the lake in this yard, like a little parking lot, like a little bitty park in a parking lot. So what we have is we have a little path cut. You could take the kayaks and everything and literally just walk them to the lake. You could picnic right there at the lake. It's maybe 50 foot. Like, it's really not that far. So we're not lakefront, and we also, she also didn't have to pay for lakefront, but it is really, really, really close to accessible. And her and I actually went back and forth on the location, and I was like, I don't know, I'm not feeling great about the privacy. So what we did is she started planting some trees. Like, I was really hesitant about the privacy on this one. And we went back and forth and brainstormed on this. And the result is planting trees and creating privacy. Okay. So we look at this and we say, okay, what are some of the top amenities here, right? This place has a ton of amenities: wakeboards, kayaks, bikes, dog wash station. We can get into it, but like, what are the top? What is different? What's something different that other people don't have? Well, so we put Lux in here. We got Lake Blue Ridge because a lot of people are searching for that. Kayaks and pets. Okay, both of those are kayaks is unique to have in Blue Ridge. Pets is a must. Okay, and when you see a high-end property like this, you don't think pets, right? So, what words are people searching for? Boom, most search keywords in your area. Now, how do you find that? You can look in something like Rank Breeze or IntelliHost. Okay, Rank Breeze or IntelliHost, and they have these ranking and listing optimization pages that will help you form these. And if you don't know your market, then I would suggest you start there. Okay, if you don't have anything to know in your market, you don't know where your location is, you don't know anything about it, or maybe you're consulting for somebody else, then hook it up to Rank Breeze and just check it out, right? Like, just look. It's like $15 a month for a listing or something. So you have these two, right? You have your top two amenities, and then you have your keywords. So, Lake Blue Ridge would be more of like a keyword. Lux would be more like a keyword. And then we got kayaks and we got pets, both of the amenities. Okay. Now, you can change these every once in a while, right? If you're following it in Rank Breeze and you start to kind of drop, then change it to something else. Use that optimization page to change it to something else. All right. And then what we have is, through the software stuff, you can't use these emojis. Okay. They kind of outlawed that. I think if you're just running through Airbnb, you can do an emoji. I don't really know, but I think they outlawed all of it. I could be wrong. But a pattern interrupter is very important. So what does that mean? Like, when you see this star, that's something where people are just looking, and then it just kind of pops out. You could do the little squigglies. You could do dollar signs. You could do parentheses or brackets or bars or dashes or commas or whatever. But do something, okay? Do something to, like, break people's pattern, right? It's like ads, right? When you're rolling, you're scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or whatever, TikTok, and somebody hits you with an ad, if it doesn't just make you stop, you just scroll through it. But every once in a while, you'll see somebody on like a big old boat or, driving a Lambo or whatever. Those are showstoppers. Those are pattern interrupters. And we have to get really good at those pattern interrupters when it comes to our listing. Okay. So after that, ask yourself, if someone scrolled past my listing, would they pause here? So here's a good example, right? Just take this out. So, because I don't want to advise you to put an emoji in and then people are, oh, I can't do an emoji. So we'll just take that out, right? So having something like this, so you have the, Blue Ridge Escape, Creek Font, Fire Pit, Loft, like you can have these here, okay? Number 2, pictures. So we're going to scroll down, right? We start at the top of the listing, then we're going to scroll down to pictures. Now, what do your pictures look like? If you tell me, well, I've got a really good iPhone, I'm going to slap you, okay? We don't want to, like the days of the iPhone photos are really like, shows me you don't know what you're doing. Now, if you snap a last minute iPhone photo because you added something, okay, whatever. But like, if these are iPhone photos, like, don't even talk to me anymore. Just, you need help. You need massive help, okay? But if you look at this, so professional STR level quality, not, it's just real estate photography, because there's a big difference, right? Real estate photography doesn't take pictures like this. They don't take pictures like this. They don't take pictures like this. They take pictures in the corner of the room or at the entrance of the room, and they say, here you go. Here's the whole room. Let me turn around and walk out. Please stop using regular realtor photography. I don't care about the price. A lot of people are like, well, it's only $200 or it's $150. Yeah, and you get $150 quality. You get $150 results. I'm not telling you to spend $2,000, but I am telling you to take this crap seriously, because the presentation is everything. And you guys have to understand that. If you're going to have a $2 million home, we need to have $2 million photos. If you said, well, I paid $400,000 for it, it's probably worth $1 million now. Are we presenting $1 million home, or are we presenting a $400,000 home? What are we doing? Okay, we have to figure out where we're going. So do we show the full room? Do we show all the amenities? So think about every single amenity you have. We sent out a photographer like 2 weeks ago to a brand new property, and she missed like 6 positions. But we just analyzed, like, they're going to mess up, right? She's done 30 photo shoots for us. She missed something. She's human. She's going to make a mistake, but that's where you have to catch it and say, hey, you missed this. Can you go back? Okay, that's their job. Like, you're paying for a service. They're providing a service. Get the service right, okay? So, hey, like fire pit, hot tub, arcades, maybe there's a spot on the house that you're thinking about, like, hey, I think it would be great. Even if you don't use it, I don't care. Just get it. They're there, okay? The location, surrounding environment. So that would be like your aerials would be one. That would be like kind of your surrounding environment to see, like, how close are you to another house? Do you have a nuclear power plant sitting next door? Are you next to a mobile home park? Like, what is it? Kind of give them an idea. Are you just out there in the woods with nothing around you? Great. But at the same time, if you are 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes away from something that's desirable, do a screenshot of the map, of the full Google map, and do a distance travel, right? So, and actually, I can show you that. Give me 1 second. Let me remove this. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So we consulted for a listing down in Florida, down in Naples. And at the very end of it, because you can ride bikes and it's 7 minutes away, we did this. And this is what I want you guys to do. So if you are close to shopping or the beach or whatever, do something like this. This is simply done in Canva. I made a post about like 3 top softwares you need to run an Airbnb. Canva is in that 3 top. Okay, so this is Canva. This is this villa resort. It's a luxe resort. It's beautiful. It's $2.5 million or $2.2 million sides, if you will, 2 houses, and they come together. They're like it's not a duplex, but it's like 2 cluster homes put together. I don't know how to explain it. So, anyways, this is like the parent listing for both of them. So it's a $5 million listing. I mean, technically, villa resort. This is where it's located. Okay, And then we have I did different colors, 7-minute bike ride to the beach, Vanderbilt Beach. Okay. We dropped these little pins on all the little locations of points of interest. And then a blue 10-minute bike ride to shopping. Okay. So in this shopping is called Mercado. So Mercado is a big, I mean, I don't know this area. So this was a very much like, hey, let's look this up. Let's talk to the owners. You know, this is gathering information. We're researching and playing Sherlock Holmes. So we realized, okay, well, you have a Trader Joe's, you have a Publix here, you have the Mercado shopping, you have Whole Foods, Pelican Bay Community Park. They said was very high, like, you know, high traffic. The Ritz-Carlton, Vanderbilt Beach access right here. Okay. So we just looked at Mercado and then we zoomed in and I put it in this circle to show a glimpse of like what's around you. So when people go to book this, they're like, oh, I know exactly where this is at. Or, hey, it's awesome to realize how far, when people aren't trying to do the GPS crap. Okay. So just an FYI, like if you're in a location that is highly sought after around you, do this. This is a screenshot in Google Maps, thrown in Canva, dropped a bunch of little pins, made some dotted lines, and boom, it's here. Okay. And people, you're missing this. Like we're missing the location side. Okay. If I go to Naples, I've never been to Naples. If I go to Naples and I rent this house, I'll be like, bro, I don't know what's around it. I don't have a clue what any of this is. Okay. So get accustomed. Just because you know where things are doesn't mean everybody else is. Okay. Now, if you're a cabin in the woods, that's different. But if you're right here in prime time, create it. Okay. Don't be lazy. All right. Now, so location and surrounding of the environment. Okay. Another one is the lifestyle shots, and I'll show you. Okay. So first of all, these pictures are bomb, insane. But then you have stuff like this. Okay. Here's a lifestyle shot. So this is actually me and Allie sitting on the couch, both of our kids playing Connect Four. Right. So, I mean, they're actively playing and we're actively watching something. All right. Now, if you go through, here's your intimate STR shots, something close up. This place is insane. So they're playing actively, right? So you still have your full angle shots. You got to sit on the couch. Okay. We ordered charcuterie board, or well, we got them from Costco or Sam's, and we just designed the table. We were going to have a chef come in. We're going to have all this, but the timeline didn't line up. Okay. So this is us hanging out, eating. We actually did eat. If we go through, give me a second. They put me in a room to read a book. That was their idea, not my idea. Okay, so there's your active. Hey, I'm going to fill up a bathtub, right? So now you're envisioning yourself in these lifestyle photos. You're envisioning yourself turning on the bath. You're like, oh my God, I'd love to sit in that bathtub. I'm going to run through these real quick until I find what I want. I burnt a pizza. Okay, this is real. Caught it on fire. Did not eat it. But that was a really good freaking picture. Okay. So it's dog friendly. You're going to do lifestyle. Take your pets. So we took our dogs. This is our son playing fetch. This is the lake area, which the water's down right here. But doing the close-ups, there's the amenities. It's me pulling the kayaks out. So you're envisioning yourself moving this stuff, okay? This stuff's included. Picnic, ball gloves, glasses, kayaks. There's our dog's not included. Wagon. All of this stuff is included. Didn't realize that my daughter's out there dabbing. That's interesting. So you have all of these, like these are real shots. These are real pictures. Now here's your location and amenities. So there's the lake comes up. So people can understand how far it is to the actual lake. It's right through here, across this little parking area, and this is the park. And there's the lake. And when the water's up, it actually comes up here, which I think you could figure that out. There's something else. Did I miss it? There we go. We got some family photos, right? It's a good picture. It gives people an idea. Hey, you want to come out here and take pictures? This is a great picture. This is a great place to take a picture. And that was a good picture of the dogs. The more, the better. Okay? And my dog is like 3 times that size now. So let me go back here. So in your picture, oh, this is what I was going to show you. Here you go. Check this out. So we have this picture. This was edited in Canva. Again, back top 3. Edited in Canva. We are the first ones I've ever seen do this. It's been done for a while. Ever seen. I just came across a couple of really high-end listings in Blue Ridge that just changed their stuff to this font right here, to this title, this structure. This is world-class photography, world-class presentation. This is how you do it. Okay. So don't be a goof. Don't be a goon. Do it. Okay. Do this. Take the time. All right. So add captions to highlight the feature. So there's the big push for Airbnb is going to start doing AI. So your captions in each photo. And when you do the captions, don't just say kitchen. Say, cook in the chef's kitchen at Blue Turtle Villa, right? So you want all of those like SEO to just keep scrolling through, right? Now, if we scroll down, so let's go down. So we're going to scroll down to reviews. So now we did listing, pictures, reviews. So what do your reviews say? Okay, so you want to go through them, you want to read them. Okay, I understand there's things that happen and people get upset and Wi-Fi gets slow and the toilet won't flush or whatever. But just read them objectively. Is there anything that you can improve on? Right? This is all 5 stars. This place is beautiful. Now I've had feedback. You should leave a guest basket. I should have more stuff when I come here. Like, stupid. But they didn't leave a bad review. They just left us that privately. You need a bigger trash can. Like, okay, thanks. So look at this, right? Look at how many reviews you have. Look at what your what your star rating is. If this is a 4.4, 4.6, good luck. I would rebrand it and post it on another listing. Okay. So top 5% of homes, just get a snapshot here, right? Description. So this is your description. What does your copy look like? So you want to highlight your location, like 10 minutes from downtown Blue Ridge. So 11-minute drive from downtown Blue Ridge. Amenities, your hot tub, fire pit. You have a full chef's kitchen. What is it? That would be like your key features. And then your guest experience, which we can throw some reviews in, which I think we pulled the reviews out of this one. We were working, of course, with the owner on doing something different with this one, but this still follows the same guidelines. So throwing a couple of reviews in, and you can do a review and if you start it and you don't have any reviews across any listing or this one or whatever, like start it without reviews and then go back and put in the review, right? You get a good review, your first review, put it in there, especially if you're brand new. Like obviously you would be brand new, but like, let's say you get like three reviews, 4 reviews, and it's not fully showing up yet. Like as soon as that review pops, go and put it in here. Okay. Or go pull some of the best reviews you have. Maybe you don't have any reviews. Go pull some of the best reviews you have. Right. And guest experience. So your guest experience is going to be like this right here, right? Nestled in a serene wooded enclave, our contemporary. This is ChatGPT. The team built this, sent it to the owner. We always go back and forth on the owner, like, hey, are you good? Is there anything that we missed? Whatever. But they collectively put this in. Guests are welcome to bring a boat. We offer parking for the trailer side of the house. So like answering those kind of questions ahead of time too, kind of putting them in that state of mind of like, this is the perfect place to rent. And then you've got we got some stuff about like Blue Ridge, hiking, waterfalls, fishing, mountain, because there's so much here. What I would suggest too, and we do on every other listing except this one's a little bit different, is bedrooms like highlighted. So instead of it saying like Blue Ridge right here, it would say bedrooms, and it would say, now you still have this too, but then it's bedrooms. Okay, you're going to have a master with an ensuite. The master has a king, and you have plenty of space to read or whatever. And then you go into the second bedroom, which is on the second floor. these are the things that you want to explain. So people are like, well, I don't understand the layout. Well, if you don't have a Matterport or like the floor plan, like a simple floor plan, then right here would be great to say kitchen, living room, dining room, outdoor area, all that kind of stuff. Okay. So we have that in just about every other listing except this one. So do as I say, not as I do, right? Right. So when you get in here, and this is what I'm talking about right here, section layout, bedroom, kitchen, living spaces, outdoor space, entertainment game room. Okay. Snippet of the real guest reviews. And so you have the short intro, engaging, keep them going. You want them to click. All right, so that's about the space. If we scroll down some more, side note, you want to make sure this is kind of filled out right here. It says where you'll sleep. Like, make sure your bedrooms are configured correctly. If that's important, like, it's just a standard, but like, just make sure. Amenities. So we're going to go down here. So show all 63 amenities. You want to go through and just double check, just reread all of them. Sometimes Airbnb goes through updates, amenities get pushed out. Sometimes I've seen where they added, like, hey, we don't have hair dryers across the property. We don't have, I don't know. I've just seen it. Okay. I've seen some stupid stuff. So make sure, like, every once in a while, go in here, spot check. And if you're really slow on bookings, make sure your amenities are right. That's a good time for you to do an audit on your listing. And you want to get down to the bottom. You want to make sure you don't have anything like marked out, like private entrance is a very common one that I see is marked out. People don't even realize it. So, or CO detectors. Go to the store and get a CO, carbon monoxide detector. Get your fire detectors, your smoke detectors. Get them all put in correctly, right? Like make sure it's there and then mark it right. Like mark it that it's there. So this is important because especially pets allowed. So if you're not allowing pets and you're struggling on the listings, then it's time to have a conversation about allowing pets. Pet friendly is the most searched amenity in the nation on Airbnb. The most searched. It's not hot tub, it's not pool, it's not putt-putt, it's not views, it is the pet friendly. Pet friendly. It's the most common searched, the number one searched amenity in the nation. Could be in the world. I don't know. But in the nation, I know for a fact. My market manager pushed me so hard to get some of these pet friendly, and I did, and we went that route because she showed me the data. It was insane. Okay, are you maximizing visibility? So, like I just said, all relevant features, pet friendly, hidden but valuable. So, blackout curtains, dual coffee makers, that's cool stuff, right? So, if it's in there, then put it, then add it. All right. Again, if you're using Airbnb, and some of you that are watching this are only using Airbnb, so use your emojis, use your bold, use your stuff to highlight, right? If you're going through a PMS, sometimes you can't use that, right? Like Guesty outlawed all that. You can't do that at all. Onerous has a little bit more versatility. Hospitable has even more versatility when it comes to the emojis and stuff. So make sure, like, just pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Utilize what you can. All right, so now your calendar. So you want to see how, I want you to go into like incognito and pull your listing, and then you can like fake book it. Okay, so what are your fees? What are your minimum night stays? Because this could have a huge effect if you're booking or not. Like I had a guy that had a property in Florida, and he thought for whatever reason, this was a year and a half ago, he thought for whatever reason that the market was a 7-night minimum. And so he was like, man, I cannot get a booking whatsoever. So we looked at it. And I looked at AirDNA and I went back to him and I said, look, your average length of stay is 2 days, 3 days at the most in some of these months. You have a 7-night minimum. If the average is 3 days, why are you doing a 7-night minimum? Like that doesn't even make sense. Nobody's going to book you. And he was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize. So when you go in here, like first of all, this calendar is slammed. Right? We even still have room in June to book, and we're already at 20K. So we could do $25,000, $30,000 in June. It's possible. All right. But like go in here, that's besides the point, right? But go in here and see what your minimums are, right? So July I have 5-night minimum right now. We're gonna pull it as it gets closer. In June, 2-night minimum. Okay. So, and that's just because we're approaching that within 30 days. So if you like chose here, Yeah, I think it's 30 days. So we got maybe it's 45 days. I don't remember. But we have it where it's 3 nights. And so, for so many days, 3 nights. So in July, we're at 5 nights right now. Well, especially around like 4th of July. Yeah, so 4 nights here. So just understand like mock book all the way through, right? So if I'm looking at like August, it's a 4-night minimum. If I'm looking at October, it's a 3-night minimum. If I'm looking at, and make sure your dates for your holidays are correct too. So like, for instance, we have 2 properties in Alabama, and I was looking at them, and I was like, in May and June and July, we wanted to try this because it's like super busy season. We want to try this like 4-night minimum, 5-night minimum. We just want to try it. Well, I made a mistake, and I left it on for too long, and then we didn't have any bookings coming into like May and June. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even realize, right? Now we do a revenue management call every week. I have a revenue manager. We go through the properties. We go through the amounts. We go through the booking income. We go through everything. And some of these high minimums ruin your chances of booking. Yes, you will make more money if you get them booked. Everybody would rather have that. But the reality is, does it book, right? The data might show it might book, but the reality is, do they want to stay at your property for 5 nights, 7 nights, 10 nights, 4 nights, whatever? You have to sell them. If you're going to require something that strong, that stronghold, then do it. But as it gets closer to that, drop that off. Okay, you have to drop that. So we look at the pricing. Yes, are you competitive? What are your minimum night stays? Are you dynamic? So some of us are using Price Labs, but then we have this floor too high. Let's say it's $220 a night, and our base rate's like, I don't know, $275, and we're like, well, we're not booking anything, and we drop it, and now we're at $220 for the entire week, in the weekend, and the next week. Well, you're no longer dynamic. You're flat, set-based fixated rate. Airbnb does not see a dynamic rate at that point. So go in there and lower your minimum, lower your floor, or just change a couple of days, right? If you want to hit that dynamic, you have to utilize that. You have to pay attention, okay? We want to set and forget this for whatever reason. It's because that's what the industry sells you is just go hire it out. Just go do this industry expert. No, you have to understand what this is. This is the leading indicator for your business income is revenue. So pay attention to it. It's the most, if you pay attention to just your revenue, you'll fix all this other stuff naturally. Pay attention to your revenue. Okay. Now, one thing you need to understand is if I go in here and I go book this if I go book this these days, okay? So yeah, 4 nights, $7,490. Are you allowing pets? If you're not, or you're not sure, well, it says right here, right? So pets, you'll see this go up. Now, the question is, how much are you charging for a pet fee? If you're charging $400 for a pet fee, it's a little ridiculous. We charge $200 across the board. Now, we may play with that as we lower the bookings, or the bookings come in slower for certain properties, or some of them aren't doing refreshes or whatever. We might lower that down to 100 just to see, right? Guests are very, very, very conscious. Are very price conscious of what they're booking. So, and I'll give you some examples, but let's say I go to reserve this, right? So I'm just going to go here. I'm going to go to reserve. Then we need to go to like price breakdown. Right now in Airbnb, you will not see it broke down separately. So you need to understand that. But if you take this price and you look in OwnerRes or Hospitable or whatever the case is, make sure that your markup and your fees are not throwing you way outside the market. So Price Labs has, and we have trainings on Price Labs too, but Price Labs has the price that they're pushing. So let's say it's $100 a night. Let's say it's a 2-night stay, $100 a night. So now that should be a $200 booking plus whatever fees, right? So you have your price, you have your Price Labs price at $100 a night. Pushes to OwnerRes. Well, then OwnerRes, if you have a markup to Airbnb, let's say you're marking it up 5%. So now it's $105 a night, right? So now you're at $210. Let's just say, okay. But wait, they added a pet. Okay, cool. Well, you're only at $100 a night. Now you just added a $200 a night or $200 pet fee. So now that's split, right? So that goes back to your total accommodation. Well, now it's 210 plus 200. So now it's $410. Okay. Now, what if you have reservation insurance? We charge $55 for reservation insurance. So now it's not 200, it's not 410, it's 465 because it was that plus the $55 for reservation insurance. But wait, what if you have an HOA fee? And your HOA fee is $40 a booking because you have to pay the HOA $40 a booking. So now it's not 465, it's 505. Right? But wait, now they have to pay the Airbnb fees. Well, the Airbnb service fee on this is $1,000. That's crazy. So now it's another 15% because that's what they charge, or 12%. So now you're at $505 plus 15%. So off of $100 a night booking, it's $505 because you are adding all of these fees. So example, real life example, something we did. We have a 4-unit inn in downtown Blue Ridge. And that 4-unit inn, they're suites. Okay, one is like a full 1-bedroom, huge apartment, stretches the entire top floor. Okay. We have reservation insurance on all these. What we did is we kept reservation insurance on this one, and it's $3,000 coverage. Now these rent for like the penthouse rents for like $130 a night. Well, the suites rent between $80 and $100 or $80 and $120 a night. And what happens is when we add the $55 reservation insurance and then the $80 clean fee, like nobody booked it. There was nobody booking these little suites for like a couple of months, and we couldn't figure it out. And then we just analyzed all the fees. So what we did, we negotiated the cleaning fee down, and of course the cleaner's pushback was, well, I won't get paid to do it. I won't get paid to do it. Well, if you can clean all 4 at one time, you make a killer day, like killer money, right? If you can clean all 4. My objective is to get all 4 booked all the time. So now you're making more money on the volume versus just a one-off, once a month clean. So we lowered the clean fee, I think, by $20. So she went from like 90 to 70. We charged 80 for the clean fee. So instead of charging 100, now we're charging 80, whatever. It doesn't seem like it's much, but remember, some of these only book for like $80 a night. And if you do a 1-night stay, it's massive, right? So we did that, and then we removed the insurance for $3,000, which is what our insurance coverage is. For $3,000, we can furnish the entire room, right? Like that doesn't even make any sense. But if it's never booking, who cares what the insurance covers? So we'll utilize. So what will we do if somebody broke a bed? We will utilize air cover for that, right? So we still have air cover because that's given to you through Airbnb. It's not the best, but it's something. Okay, so we lowered that. That thing is slam booked. I'm talking slam booked now. So we have to understand what we're charging, and we may say, well, it's not worth it. And some of our owners might say, well, yeah, I'd rather just not rent it at all. Like BS, right? Somebody's got to pay those bills. I know what you're saying. Hypothetically, well, I would, in theory, I'd rather just not rent it because I'd be losing money anyways. Yeah, but then when you get hit with a mortgage bill, you're a little bit more upset because you don't have any income. Okay. So I would rather lose a little bit more money on the booking than just have no bookings, right? So understand what your fees allot to, and that is massive. So you'll have this markup, and I have drove myself nuts before I understood this. That your your Price Labs price is not going to be your Airbnb price because you go from Price Labs, then you go to OwnerRez, from OwnerRez you go to Airbnb, and you have the markups from Price Labs to OwnerRez. Your PMS should be the same, and then it's from there. And if you want to track this, you can. And then from there, you go into Airbnb. You can do a mock booking, and you can look at it, and you can divide it, and then you should be able to see your fees, right? So if it's a $550 booking, and you're like, well, it's only $100 a night, so minus that, and then add your clean fee, your pet fee, if you're doing a pet fee, your service fee if that's what you're offering, a management fee, HOA fee, all these other fees, and your markup if you're doing a markup. I actually pulled our markups off of owner risk. There's zero. We have a 0% markup across the board now. Zero. Okay. So just something we're trying. We have zero across the board now. We used to do 5%, 8%, 3%. 3% Airbnb, 5% direct booking, and 8% for VRBO. And we pulled that off. And we're starting to pull the fees down. Okay. So renegotiate your cleaning fees. I understand you might have the best cleaner in the world, but if she's charging you $400 a night, $400 a stay, and the market is $250, you're pricing yourself out of the market. It doesn't matter if she cleans or not. She's not getting a chance to. So understand that. We have to look at this from all aspects, okay? So I'm not going to beat a dead horse here anymore, but that's what I want you to understand. Actually, I will beat a dead horse. If you have no bookings and you need help, this is what you need to do. All right, so on your last check, okay, so we went title, pictures, reviews, description or copy is what we call it, where you'll sleep, amenities, and then we went over to calendar. We mock booked the calendar. That's it. But then I want you to step back and I just want you to think about amenities, location, experience. Maybe you forgot that you have a golf course right down the street. Add it in there. Put some pictures of it in there. So make sure you go through these and you just take one final look and you say, do I have a fair representation of everything around it, everything somebody can do there, and everything that's provided at the property? Okay. Now, if you need this checklist, I've been giving it out this week. If you need this script, make sure you can comment calendar here. Send me the word calendar. If you see this, I also have something on Instagram running right now that it's like just throw a calendar in the chat and it will automatically send it to you because set it up like that so you guys aren't getting it too slow. But look, if you're still struggling and you get this you get this script at the bottom, if you're still struggling, book a call. Let's do an audit call. Let's look at your listings. Let's take 30 minutes and just go through it. All right. You're already here in the free Facebook group, which is awesome. And then if you're not following us on YouTube, make sure you go follow us on YouTube. We have podcasts launching. We have, these trainings go to YouTube. I have different shorts on there. So a lot of content that's being produced on YouTube, and we'll just keep pushing it. Okay. So go follow us on YouTube. You're already here in the Facebook group, and book an audit call if you need one. Okay. Because I'm here to help. All right. Now, it is May. We are almost halfway through the year. Okay. We're in Q2. If you guys have projections for these properties, make sure you guys are following your projections. And if you are, a little low on the projection before, make sure you take that and you split it up throughout the year and you say, okay, what can we add? What can we do? Okay. Now, this is your business. This is your property. This is your listing. Nobody's here to save you, right? I'm here to help, but nobody is going to save you. So make sure you go through this and you do the work. Okay. Especially if you're struggling hard. All right. So with that, I leave you. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Have a great Mother's Day weekend. If you need anything at all, let me know. If you are watching this all the way to the end and you see that you need help, you send me, or you want the script, send me calendar, DM me the word calendar, put it on this listing, on this training, drop it in the comments, and I will send you the script so you can take your time and go through everything that's here. All right. And for that, thank you, and I will see you later.